I'm going to start right up top with a trigger warning on this. There is discussion of suicide in this mini. On Monday, April 20th, David Wilcock took his own life. I'm not going to go over the details of exactly what happened with it in this mini. They're out there to find if you so choose. And I don't think we're focusing on the how or why. Well, the how.
I don't think we're going to even include any of the links to that stuff. If you want to find it, it's readily available out there.
Very read. Lots of information is out there. This may be the most breaking thing Journey to the Fringe has ever and probably will cover, rightfully so. As of recording, this happened less than a week ago. We've never covered anything like this.
In fact, we record on Sundays, and this is the first Sunday we are unable to listen to a David Wilcock live.
Yeah, that makes me really sad. Wilcock was somehow a big part of our lives. Some may even say, I don't even know if it's speculation, he inspired the very concept of this podcast.
The some who may say that are us.
Yeah.
Who say he's the whole reason we wanted to start a podcast.
Yeah, we have a 5-part episode covering him. He even came up on our most recent mini that came out right after this all happened. He comes up constantly. Sometimes it's related to what we're talking about, and sometimes we just love a random Wilcock reference. You may not even know that it's a Wilcock reference, but we certainly know it. We may even be in what is an optimal position to comment on this, and this is a mini after all, so I do have some articles for you. With this news, the conspiracy community is doing its thing, and it is ablaze with unhinged speculation. One of the articles I have is from Times Now, quote, "Are David Wilcock, Nick Pope, and Eric Von Daniken's death connected? 3 UFO figures dead in months." That was published 4 days ago. Just a couple quotes that I pulled from there is just people pulling what people are saying online. So it says one user wrote, quote, "First it was Eric Von Daniken who died in January, then Nick Pope earlier this month, and now the news about David Wilcock. All in the first half of 2026. If this news is true, it really is awful and certainly suspicious," end quote. Another posted, quote, "So we're losing people in the ufology circles too? 3 in 1 week. Nick Pope just passed too. What is happening?" End quote. Just for your reference, we haven't even talked about these deaths. Nick Pope died of stage 4 esophageal cancer that had metastasized to his liver.
Which he had made statements about months in advance.
Yeah.
Like, I believe it came out before Christmas that he had uncurable esophageal cancer.
And it sounds just fucking awful. His wife actually said something that it's like a relief. So rest in peace, Nick Pope. Eric Von Daniken, for your information, was fucking old as shit.
I think he was 93.
Yeah, and he died optimally of old age. That's the way you want to do it. So there's no way that these are related, and it's not the least bit suspicious. Get your shit together, whoever's saying this. But the main speculation we seem to be seeing, Taylor and I have been speaking about this frequently, is the link to the missing and dead scientist that, yes, he did talk about on his last live. He had just mentioned that Donald Trump had said that he wanted to go after the missing and dead scientist.
I think it was 2 sentences at most that he focused on it.
So people are speculating that because of Stavati that he is a scientist. He is in no way a scientist. It's a mini. There's an article. This one, you're going to like this one. I sent this to Taylor already. BollywoodShaddist.com. And the O in the com is a heart for some reason. India's covering it. I think this is India. It's in English, so. This one's titled, "People Are Disappearing." David Wilcock said he was grateful to be alive post UFO theorists' deaths. Just 2 days before his reported death, paranormal writer and UFO expert David Wilcock had opened up about how grateful he is to be alive amid the mysterious deaths of his fellow authors. I'm not going to read that, even though that title was weird. Everyone is tying it to the missing scientist, saying that he would have never done this. They're saying somebody Havana syndromed him and caused him to do it to himself. It's the only thing I'm seeing, essentially. Taylor and I obviously have a very unique viewpoint on this one, and honestly, I have a lot of complicated feelings looking back on this because we were witness to the mental decline of someone that ended very tragically.
And I think it's safe to say for both of of us, when we both heard the news, I don't think either of us had any point in our mind where we said he would never do that.
No. It's
There were
complicated.
very clear signs.
There were.
He was not in a good mental state.
No, but at the time, I wasn't like, I think he's a risk, oddly enough. I would have never thought that he would do something like that, but looking back on it, we were both in agreement, like, yep. So we watched his Sunday lives. It was pretty much a part of the routine, and I'm pretty sure our family resented us for it.
Yes. If there are divorces in our future, this will be cited in it.
It'll be because of David Wilcock. Every time we're together, we threw on a David Wilcock live. We watched it pretty much every Sunday, and we would always text about it. And we were both there and caught the last live. It was the day before this happened. We both commented on how upbeat and erratic he was. And he kept...
I think there was three distinct emotional phases you could see him in.
Yes.
One is he is financially not well, and he's trying way too hard, and he is emotionally erratic.
Yeah.
Then the next one is I've come into some money, so I don't have to worry as much, and he's not as exciting to watch. He's pretty boring.
That's my next
And
note.
then he went back into this phase in his last show, and only his last show. The one immediately preceding this one was not that way.
Yeah, and they totally did used to be erratic. And I feel bad saying it because obviously what happened, and like I said before, in retrospect, the signs were there, but I didn't see them at the time, sadly.
No.
Not that I probably could have done anything, but they were always erratic. And there's something charming about the guy. I don't know if I would call it charming, but I needed to watch it. You
wanted to know where the train wreck was going.
Yeah,
that was
but
what the whole thing always was.
I never thought the train wreck would be here. Otherwise, I don't know that I could have brought myself to watch it. And then they had gotten very boring, so I'd only watched the first 5 minutes of a live. I still went. And then we both made comments on that Sunday. I even went back to the text messages to double check on it, and it said, "What's going on with him today?" He commented about how he had a really bad week and wanted to cancel that last live. He even put out a tweet saying that it was canceled, and he thanked all of the admins, but he showed up. I didn't know that until after.
And then he almost strictly played the hits, which unfortunately for David Wilcock is Angry Daddy and Tranma.
Yeah, that's the hit. And he was slipping into Bad Daddy like it was going out of style. The title was Pathway to Peace, with Trump Jesus no less, but I think relevant that he chose that. He was commenting about how he was only eating salad. He looked super skinny. It's actually the first time I heard him talk about how skinny he was. People kept commenting on it before, but he would never actually go into it. He actually commented on that one, and that he was pooping pellets, a part of why I also love to tune into a live.
Yeah, you know a lot about his bowel movements
Yeah,
with
we
his
know-
lives.
we know
There's
a
a slide on it almost every week.
Yeah, there was. My favorite was when he was taking the horse. What was it?
Oh, ivermectin, yeah. Couldn't poop for a long time.
That was full of slides. And I think all of this speculation about Wilcock with missing scientists is not only the conspiracy community at work, but people trying to make sense of this. It's super tough to grasp. We found Wilcock incredibly entertaining. There was just something about the guy that made me want to see more, and I know my world definitely won't be the same without him. We were just commenting, today was our first day without the live, and it sucked. I kept wanting to open up YouTube and see what he was up to, and it's left a really weird hole that I never thought was possible. I can't find another crazy UFO guy because nobody hit the spot like Wilcock did.
And nobody goes live on Sundays, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that's the right time to bring it up, but man.
Exactly. It's sad. I was shocked, and it's super sad. I want to read you guys a part of his family's statement that they put out. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read a portion of it that I thought was insightful and nice. Quote, David was widely known as a media personality and lecturer examining issues such as UFOs, UAPs. Not sure why they said both. This might have been been put out by Angry Daddy and the paranormal. But this only tells part of the story of a life like that, like any other, unfolded through internal struggles, evolving beliefs, and a quest for meaning. David lived in a time shaped by the internet, and he himself shaped a segment of it. This powerful medium of communication magnifies both connection and confusion. Ideas travel quickly, expand logarithmically, and reshape through thought structures. In remembering David, it is important to hold more than one truth at once. That some of his work raised concerns about misinformation, and that he was also a person who was on an eternal quest for clarity. Beyond his public persona, he was a human navigating the same complexities and vulnerabilities that shape all our lives. His passing is a reminder of how important it is to meet one another with open minds and compassion in our hearts. The loss of a life can turn our focus to a shared humanity, whether we agree on life's unanswered questions or not. End quote. It was clear that the Sunday episode, in retrospect, he had made peace with, I think, a decision that he had made. And it says right in the family statement, I don't want to say too much about what happened, but it is for sure a decision that David Wilcock made, and it wasn't any conspiracy in it. It's not, he faked his own death. I saw that one too. It's not a part of a conspiracy with Havana syndrome or anything. It's pretty clear in retrospect this has happened. He had huge financial problems. His involvement in the community, after everything that happened with Corey Good and Gaia TV, it seemed like his world was crumbling. He was stuck in a house that he was clearly miserable in, very isolated from people, clearly. He was clearly unwell mentally.
There's a few things that I have when I'm looking back on this. One thing we need to acknowledge is I think we just need to say thank you, David, for everything that you did bring us.
Yeah. It was a lot. It
feels weird in hindsight thinking about this, but in your own unique way, you did inspire us to get into this.
Yeah.
We did absolutely research into things because of you. And I do think, especially when we were younger, it did inspire us to get a better understanding of these topics.
Yeah.
It may not have led the way he would have thought it would for us, but I think we are better having been introduced to him and seeing him and learning from him.
Very nicely. And he even inspired my further digging into these kind of topics. And our love of him goes like way back to that. Like in my early 20s, I listened to him a lot and realized a lot of things, which led us to here.
I think the biggest thing to take away from this, though, is isolation is hell on people. Mm-hmm. When you look at this man, what you see is a man falling into isolation over that period of time. And yes, he had thousands of people watching him every week, but that was still isolation. These are not interactions he's having. And you could tell with how he interacted with the chat.
There's a disconnect.
It wasn't a social interaction. There was a disconnect.
Oh, yeah.
And unchecked mental health can really cause damage. I think we're going to put in the notes for this episode links to suicide hotlines. And I think it is important to note, too, if you know somebody who is depressed or suicidal and they make a sudden recovery, there's a chance that that recovery is they've made their decision to take a step. Mm-hmm. So just be aware of that.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we saw
here
on Sunday. Yeah.
Which is not sitting well with me. We were planning actually a Wilcock episode in the near future. I don't know when that'll be now. Anyhow, it's a mini. Like Taylor said, I'm going to put in the suicide crisis lifelines in the notes. Well, Taylor is actually, if you must know.
Yes.
And if you or someone you know was battling with thoughts of suicide, 988 is the suicide hotline. I double checked it that it's North America 988, and I think not a good place to end on, but
I think it's important. Nobody is going to think different of you for reaching out and call somebody. Nobody is going to think different of you for taking that step. They will think differently if you do end things.
You'll leave a big hole on everybody around you. And it's even people that you may not even think that you have an effect on. Like we see here with David Wilcock, unfortunately.
You guys got 48 hours. If you need it, reach out to that number. If not, let's just contemplate a weird man who left an impact on all our lives.
Yeah.
Bye.
Rest in peace, David Wilcock. Bye.